Good evening, everybody. I welcome everybody for this session on CPU scheduling. So today we'll discuss about one more schedule algorithm, that is on round robin scheduling. Okay. See what happens here. See, all of you know that before process executes on the CPU, so it will be in the ready queue, right? See what happens in the round robin scheduling. See, we have something called, we have this ready queue, and you think this is CPU, right? This is CPU. So here we have one process, right? The name of this process is P1, right? So the process will be moved from ready queue to this CPU. See, that is what you call it as a ready state to the running state. Ready state means it will be in the RAM. See, running state means the process has been allocated to the CPU. Now, what happens here in round robin scheduling? Here we are given the time quantum. See, in this case, we have given the time quantum as 2, right? See, the CPU will execute this particular process for the 2 units, and it will be sending back to the ready queue. Okay. So I mean to say is that the process will be preempted and it will be sent back to the ready queue. Next, what happens? Another process will be allocated for this CPU. CPU will execute for this another 2 time units, right? Again, if still the process has been remaining, the process will be preempted from the CPU and it will be sent back to this ready queue, right? Next, another process is there. You think that the process P3 is there. The process P3, it is having only 2 units to execute. So no problem, it will the CPU will execute this 2 units and it will be removed, right? The process P3, again, it will not send back to the ready queue, it will be removed over, right? Now what happens here? Here in this round robin scheduling, I have the process here P1, P2, P3 and P4, and we have arrival time 0, 1, 2 and 4. See here the process will be executed based on the arrival time here. Okay. Now see here in this case, I'll maintain 2 queues, one called ready queue I'll maintain and one called running queue. Ready queue means it is in the memory. Running queue means it is been allocated to the CPU. Next, now first the process P1 will start executing. This is a process P1, right? So it will be allocated to the running queue, right? Now what happens here? The process P1, how long it will execute? So it will execute for the 2 units. That's it. It will execute for this 2 units, right? 2 units here. 2 units. What is the remaining? Remaining will be 3. 3 units are there to execute. Now after that, what happens? At the time interval 2, the CPU check any other process is been arrived. See here at the time interval 2, the process 1 is been arrived, the process 3 is been arrived. Now these 2 process, that is P2 and P3, so it will be these 2 process P2 and P3, we are going to put this in the ready queue. Now see here, this P1 is there, no? It is executed for 2 units. Another 3 units are there. So what happens in this case? So the process P1, right? It will remove from the CPU. I mean to say that the CPU will remove this process after the time quantum 2 is over, and it will put back to the ready queue here. It will put back to the ready queue. right? Here what happens, the contest which will happen, right? See the process P1, see why it is going to put at the end of after the process P2 and P3. See what happens here when the process is been removed, that is the CPU removes the process, so the state of the process will be saved. Who will do this? The contest switch, right? It will save the state of the process and it bring back to the ready queue, right? So by that time it will save and come back to the ready queue. These two processes P2 and P3 already arrived at the ready queue. Okay. Now what happens here? P2, P3 is there and P1 is there. Now in which sequence it is appears? The P2, now P2, P3 and P3, now P1. Now P2 you're going to execute here. How long you're going to execute for this 2 units? See, good evening, everybody. So I welcome everybody for this session on CPU scheduling. See, today we will discuss one more algorithm, that is round robin scheduling. Okay. See what happens here. See, as you know that before process, before the process get the CPU, it will be in ready queue. See, this is a ready queue. You think this you think this is ready queue, right? This is ready queue. Now you think that we have this three process, P1, P2 and P3. This is P1, right? This is P2, right? And this is P3. Now three processes are there. Now you got a CPU here. This is what you call it as CPU, right? This is CPU. Now what happens? The process P3, this is what you call it as ready queue, RQ, right? Before the process execute to the CPU, the process will be in a ready queue. You think that the first process P3 will get the CPU. The CPU, what happens in the round robin? It will execute only for 2 quantum time, that is 2 QT. That's it. After that, what happens? the CPU will preempt this process and it will send back to the ready queue, right? If still the process is there remaining to execute. Next, after that, what happens? The process P2 will be sent back to this ready queue. This process will be sent back to this ready queue by this CPU after executing the 2QT. Now, if the process P1 within the time interval, that is a two units, if it completes, okay, then the process will be removed from the memory. The process P1 will be removed from this memory, right? Here in the round robin scheduling, what happens? The time quantum will be given, right? After the time quantum is over, the particular process will be preempted, okay? Now you just see here what happens. Now you have, here I'm going to maintain two queues here. That is ready queue and one more we call it as a running queue. Next we have given a time quantum 2. Now ready queue means what? Right? Ready queue means it is there in the RAM. Right? Running queue means what? Right? The process is been running. Right? The process has been allocated to the CPU. Right? Now what happens? First the process P1. Process P1 will come to the ready queue. So the process P1 will be allocated to this. The process P1 will be allocated to this CPU, right? The process P1 will execute for this 2 units, right? After executing 2 units, what happens, right? Because the time quantum given is 2 units, right? Then what happens at the time interval 2, it will check any other process is been ready, arrived. Yeah, process P2 and P3 is been arrived. The process P2 and P3, we are going to bring this to the ready queue, right? These P2 and P3 will be given to the ready queue. Next, what happens here? See, still process P1 is there because its CPU burst time is 5. It has executed 2 units. Another 3 units are there still to execute. In this case, what happens? This P1 will be preempted and it will bring back to this ready queue. So this is the ready queue here. It will bring back to the ready queue. Now it will be attached to the end of this queue. Why it will be attached to the end of the queue after P2, P3? See, before the preemption happened, what happens? The state of this process has to be saved into the PCB, right? Here what happens? The context switch will happen. Context switching means what? So whatever that old state is there, it will be written into the process control block, and this particular process you're going to bring back to the ready queue, right? That is what you call it as a context switch. Yes or no? Now what happens here? Now it will bring at the end of this queue. Now here you just see the sequence here. P2 is there, P3 is there, P1 is there. 3 processes are there in the memory. So what happens in the sequence, in the arrival time, right? In the sequence, you're going to execute it here. In the sequence, see what is the sequence now? P2, P3, P1. Now P2 will get the CPU cycle. Now it will execute for this 2 units, right? Again, what happens? So it will be sent back to the memory, right? Now see here, it will execute for 2 units, right? 2 units. Now at the 4th hour, CPU will check any process is been there. Yeah, see here, this process P4 arrives here. P4 arrives. Now this particular process, you're going to bring it into the ready queue. Process P4, you're going to bring it to the ready queue. See what happens to the previous process P2. Still 2 units are there to execute here. So what happens here? The process P2, here you're going to attach to this queue. because still it is remaining, right? Now, how many processes are there to execute? See now, how many processes are there in the memory? We have P3, we have P3, we have P1, we have P4, we have. Now what happens? Now P3, you're going to execute for another 2 units, right? 2 units, you're going to execute this P3. Now P3 execute for 3 units means, 2 units means what happens? It is over. See, it is burst time only 2 units. Now it is over, right? P3 completes its execution. Now, how many processes are there in the memory? So now it will not be attached here to the end. Why? Because it is over time. It is at CPU burst time only 2 units here. Now, how many processes are there? We have P1, P4, and P2. Now P1 is there. No, how many units it has to execute still? It has still 3 units, right? So now it will execute for 2 units, right? Still, how many units is been remaining here? 1, right? Now at this particular time, 8 hour, any process has been arrived? No. Next, what happens? How many processes are there? P2 is there still, right? Next, another P1 P4 is there. Sorry, P4 is there, and P2 is there now, right? P4 is there, P2 is there. Now still one more unit is there. No, the process P1, one more unit is there to execute because it executed 2 units. So next the process P1 you're going to attach here at the end. Now what happens? 3 processes are there in the ready queue, P4, P2, P1. Now the P4 process is going to execute. Now P4 process is going to execute for how many units? Only 1 unit, because see here, CPU burst time is only 1. See, no point in executing the 2 units here. Only 1 unit you're going to execute, that's it. 1 unit you're going to execute. After that, what happens? Still, how many processes are remaining? See, now still P2 is there, P1 is there. Now the P2 process you're going to execute for how many units? 2 units, because still 2 units are there, it is over. Now 0. Now this is over, right? Now here at the time 11, any process has been arrived? No, right? Now at the end, only 1 units you have, because the 1 unit you're going to execute this process, right? Right, this is the end of this. Now what happens after doing this, right? After doing this, you're going to calculate the CT, completion time. Now when the process P1 has been completed, 12, right? You're going to write at 12 here. At the right side you have to see. Next, when does the process completes? P2 at the 11. You have to write 11 here. When the process P3 complete? 6. You should write 6 here. When the process P4 has completed? P4 has completed it in 9. Right? You should write 9 here. Next, what is turnaround time? Turnaround time is that CT minus arrival time. Completion time minus arrival time. 12 minus here. 12 minus 0, 12. Right? Next, 11 minus 1, 10. 6 minus 2, 4. 9 minus 4, 5. What is the waiting time? Waiting time, turnaround time minus, see here, turnaround time minus burst time. Turnaround time is 12, burst time is 5. 12 minus 5, 7. Right? Next, turnaround time 10, burst time is 4, 6. 4 minus 2, 2. Next, 5 minus 1, 4. Right? Response time. What is this response time? When the process got the CPU for the first time minus arrival time. When does the process P1 got first time? 0. What is an arrival time? 0. P2 got first time 2. 2 minus 1 is 1. That is, here you just see left side you should take this 2. minus arrival time of the process P2 here, right? 2 minus 1 is 1. Next, when does the process P3 got the first time? 4. What is an arrival time? Arrival time is 2. 4 minus 2 is 2. When does the process P4 got the first time CPU cycle? 8. Right? Here 8 minus 4 is 4. Right? Next, after doing this, if you want, right, this is a response time. If you want average turnaround time, means you divide 12 plus 10 plus 4 plus 5, 12 plus 10, 22, 22 plus 4, 22 plus 4, 26, 31. 31 divided by 4, you do it. See, 31 divided 4, whatever the value you're going to get, that is an average turnaround time. Average waiting time, if you want to calculate, here you add this 4 numbers divided by 4. 7 plus 4, 6, 13, 13 plus 2, 15, 19. 19 divided by 4. The value that you're going to get is an average waiting time. As well as you can calculate the average response time. Average response time, this add 0 plus 1, 2 plus 4, right? 7 divided by 4. The value that you're going to get, it is an average response time. Okay, this is about round robin scheduling. Okay, thank you very much.